for calling me. I haven't got paid. I haven't got paid. And I'm like, so I have to call them. Was this paid? Because I never get it.
Oh, yeah, the bills.
And a lot of them haven't been getting paid. I'm like, oh my
It's
God.
okay, they can wait. Jim Wells County Commissioners Court for May 9th at 10:15 a.m. Will now come out of recess. We are at 8:33 a.m. Monday. On today, Monday, May 12th, 2025. This meeting is a continuation of Friday's meeting, update on the weather event that happened May 8th. First of all, we know that there was a lot of people affected here in Jim Wells County. And we want to extend our heartfelt appreciation for you guys and our sincere, it was a very tough situation. We were able to get out there on all portions of the Jim Wells County area that were affected. And we saw how when things don't go right or we have a disaster event as such, how people got together, helped each other out. And it was really heartwarming to see that. We know that a lot of people went through a lot of damage, a lot of serious damage. Some people lost their homes. And Jim Wells County is doing everything we can to help them and to protect them. Today, we're going to provide an update on the numbers. The Texas Department of Emergency Management is going to provide those numbers of the assessment, the ISTAT assessment that we've already collected during this time, both on Friday and on Saturday. We had 4 or 5 teams go out to all these areas affected: Loma Linda, Hilltop, Farmer Market 1554, back over here to the old water department over there and on 383. These teams were very, very diligent, very active. They met face to face with people that were affected. They were able to complete the ISTAT form and the ISTAT assessment on these numbers are daunting. And like I said, Jim Wells County we're gonna continue to do everything we can to get the help that everybody needs. A daunting task with, with disaster relief, but we're gonna do it 100% of what Jim Wells County can do in order to receive any type of assistance. Commissioners, don't have anything to say?
Yes, I'll say something. First of all, I want to thank God because there was no fatalities in this incident, even though it was pretty catastrophic. I sympathize with all the people that did lose some property, but as we all know, that can be replaced. It's going to take some time to get through this, but together we can do it. And I just urge the people to be patient while we remove debris from the right-of-ways, county roads and stuff like that. So at this point, that's all we can do. Just be patient while each commissioner takes care of their responsibilities, judge. And I want to thank all the first responders. It was a great example of working together. And thank the Texas Emergency Management Department. Basically, that's it. Just be patient with us while we get through this together.
I have no comment, Judge. You kind of said it all.
We're still out there picking up brush, and one thing I'd like to ask is if you bring the brush out, don't put it on the road, put it in the easement for safety. Some of our roads and easements are not very wide, and be careful for the guys because, you know, once you get the big equipment in the road, you know, you might not see them when you're coming around, so just be careful. And if you do put things out in the easement, please separate it. We need the brush here, metal here, trash here. We don't pick up if it's all mixed together. I have a dumpster that I brought out, a 40-yard dumpster on County Road 383 for trash. If you have trash, you know, from the yard or whatever, you can, you know, put it in there. And then if you pull out a big, long tree, if possible, you need to cut it because the grapple can't pick up a 30-foot tree. Some of them stumps are really, really heavy. So if you can, you know, cut the stumps in at least maybe a 5-foot pieces. So, I mean, we're there to help, whatever we can do. Give the office a call if we haven't hit your area. But,
Yeah, Judge, I'd just like to say thanks to everybody that was involved. I know it was the commissioners and the judge here. We all worked in emergency management. We all worked together. Thanks to the sheriff's department, the volunteers, fire departments, all the people that were involved. We put everybody together, and for the most part, we were able to communicate to each other, communicate to the people to get all the information out. There's more information coming out as of today. I know you were saying that. So on the brush part, we were out there till 2 o'clock in the morning. We were able to push everything out of the roadway. We left everything out there, had the opportunity to get people to put their stuff out there. So we would just start this morning, and we're ready to take on the task of picking up all the brush. And it's, in my area, it was mostly brush, very little debris, but we're on it this morning, and we'll probably be on it all week. So first, once again, thanks a lot to everybody that was involved, and let's keep going.
I agree wholeheartedly with our commissioners. We sympathize with everybody. We understand the damages. There are so many people that, first responders that we have to thank, and there are too many to list. But when we met right after the disaster, it was Thursday evening, and everybody was up and around until 3 o'clock in the morning. Started at 6 o'clock the next morning. So we've been working very diligently, very hard. We set up a great team with the city of Alice and with all our fire departments. When Tatum came in the next day, we were able to start doing our recovery process. And that's what we're in right now. And one of the biggest issues is, of course, trying to get back to normalcy. But I traveled all those areas that were hit, and everybody's doing the cleanup, and we're going to do our best, 100%, to try to help you guys clean up the debris. We have opened up the fairgrounds. We're going to continue to monitor the fairgrounds because we are getting a lot of brush, and we're going to start burning that brush and start getting rid of it ourselves. If there's any time at all that we'd have to go back and hold up a little bit until we clear some of that debris before accepting more. But as of right now, today, tomorrow, I'm sure we can fill that script with the debris. So as I mentioned earlier, the Texas Department of Emergency Management was here and was helping us collect all the ISTAT data. Right now, I want to bring up Ms. Elizondo, Brenda Elizondo, to give us an update. And then we'll come back and hear from our sheriff and our emergency managers.
Hi, good morning. My name is Brenda Elizondo. I am the TDM District Chief for Region 5, District 20, Corpus Christi. First of all, I want to thank the community for coming together. It was really good to see neighbors helping neighbors and everybody coming together as a whole. When we came in on Friday morning, we identified 4 different teams that came in to assist with the damage assessments. I do want to state a couple of state partners that came in to assist. We had a Texas Task Force 1 to assist with damage assessments. We had a Tiffin strike team in the area. We had the Texas Forest Service, Texas Military Department. We had our A&M AgriLife Extension. We had TxDOT who were assisting with clearing up or putting barricades on roads where there were down power lines or poles. And then we had the TCEQ who came in to assist the temporary debris and debris site. Okay. Well, going out there and while we were doing the damage assessments, our numbers as of today, we have a total of 8 destroyed homes, 12 major, 54 minor, 89 affected, and we validated 163 properties. So we really do want to continue to push out the ISTAT information so that people can come, they can report their damages that they had to their houses. Our ISTF regional Val, which is Leslie, she is monitoring, working with Lance on the shelter and helping formulate a disaster assistance center. Currently, we have 1 shelter open. As of last night or this morning, there was 0 population. We really do appreciate the hard work. One of our main priorities is to gather information of those that are they have needs, and want to set up a disaster information center that would give the residents to come in, share their needs directly, and allow us to assist them with like the ISTAT process. So if you have any information or have any questions, we do have our Val here, and she's able to assist with those needs. That's all I have.
So we only had 8 total loss?
8 destroyed, 12 major, 54 minor, and 89 affected.
Is there any questions for Ms. Brenda?
I believe we're about 5 homes away from meeting the threshold. Because major and destroyed are combined, so that makes
Was it
20.
25?
So we have 20 total right now.
We have 20. What that means is in order to qualify for some assistance, FEMA is going to be slim to none as far as assistance. But we have other agencies such as the SBA. If we file an SBA declaration, we do have to meet the threshold of 25 homes in order to do that. So we are going to continue to do some assessments today, tomorrow, and make sure that we hit all areas. And we have hit all areas, but in case we miss something, we're going to go back and and collect those datas, and the numbers may change. And we're also going to have on 601 East Main, the bank building, on the first floor, we're going to provide a location where we can do our emergency management information center, and where we could help with the ISTAT. Anybody who hadn't filled it out, we can coach you on doing it, because to my knowledge, I think they have to provide a pin of their location. So we'll coach you on how to do it. You can go back to your homes and complete it by providing the pin and pictures.
And if they have if they need any help, we can go out there and assist them with doing that.
Okay, so this courtroom was full of people on every day, Friday, Saturday, that were assisting us. We don't have those numbers this time, but we'll continue to have people available to help any resident that needs that help. Any other questions?
You said 25 was the limit. Is that completely wiped out or just damaged?
Damaged and
Major damage,
Is major damage? So
major damage or destroyed. And we're at 20 right now.
20, correct.
Anybody else have any questions?
I appreciate everything y'all do.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
And just to touch up on the shelter, as Ms. Elizondo reported, we didn't have no families there as far as or occupancies there last night, and I think the night before we had one family. So the plan is right now, from 8 o'clock today to 8 o'clock tonight, we're gonna switch it over to just a cooling center. We know it's getting warm out there, and we know that there's a lot of work to be done, so please don't overexert. If you need a cooling center and water, please come to the fairgrounds and our Merchants building. Mr. Brown, would you like to address?
Max Brown, Jim Wells County Emergency Management. Yes, just like what Judd said, we didn't have any participation. Been in great contact with the American Red Cross. They've been doing a fantastic job assisting us. Last night, our plan was, if we didn't have any participants at midnight, that we were gonna shut it down at midnight last night and then open it back up for today. They are going to be distributing cleaning supplies today there at the fairgrounds, and some other tarps. So if anybody would like to take advantage of that, that's coming from the Red Cross. They also have some hot meals that are there, and water as well. So please take advantage of that. They're at the fairgrounds. Like Judge said too, as far as the debris, everybody's doing a pretty good job of putting it all in one big pile for us, instead of just scattering it all out there at the fairgrounds. So we'll continue on doing that. We got our, like they were saying, we're going to be working with our TDM partners, and we'll have a lot more information here as soon as we in court and we have our other meetings to keep up.
Thank you. Mr. Patrick Thomas?
So pretty much, Patrick Thomas, City Emergency Management Department and Fire Chief. So pretty much everything's been covered. I do want to step back a little bit and kind of elaborate more on the review on the whole process and how this works, because we have been getting a lot of questions and what does a declaration mean? Why are they asking me for this information? Why do I need to put my information on that ISTAT? What is ISTAT? So we're in the phase of this disaster where things start to slow down a little bit. And so we've had a lot of patience from the community, and we appreciate that. When a disaster happens, like this type of a disaster, everything happened really quick. Everything was going over 100 miles an hour. Literally, and the wind was over 100 miles an hour, right? So everything happened fast. The responders were ready. We responded. Judge, emergency management, commissioners, everybody was sitting at that fire station on Thursday night. We had TDM that was within the hour was on at our fire station with us. So the response was swift and fast and quick, and that's a good thing. Then it starts to, we were in a hurry to get, capture all this information. So we had these teams that came out on Friday and Saturday, and we flooded the area trying to capture the information because we wanted to know how bad was this storm? How bad did it affect us? And that's the phase that we were at. We were trying to get a hurry. We were in a hurry to get that information so we could start planning on what our needs were going to be and what we needed to do so we could communicate that on up to the state so that way they can start providing that assistance to us. And so that still moved, not as fast as the response, but still moved fast. And then now we're at the point where it slows down a little bit more. So we're asked, I'm going to pre-ask for some more continued patience. You're going to see a lot of information coming out. You're going to see repetitive information coming out. You're going to continuously see the judge, Lance, TDM, commissioners asking for more information. Just have patience with us. Understand that it's starting to slow down a little bit, and it's going to take a little bit of time. It's a process. The declarations, if we can capture all those declarations and the data is there, and the damage is there for us to meet these thresholds, then that's when things start to open up and more information is going to be requested. So just have patience, understand that it's a process. We're at the point where it slows down a little bit, and it may not look like things are moving, but there's a lot of things happening in the background. There are a lot of people working. As the judge mentioned, this courtroom was full of people on Friday and Saturday, and if need be, it'll be full again if we need it to be. We have great partners with it locally and at the state level. So I'm pretty confident that any needs that come up, we'll be able to address them. So I just wanted to reiterate that, Judge. Also want to talk a little bit about the sirens. There's been some questions about sirens. Why didn't sirens go off? Understand that these sirens are when they go off is determined by the National Weather Service. If the National Weather Service determines that there is a tornado, you'll see tornado warnings come out over your phones, and that's when you'll hear the sirens. There was not a tornado. At no point was there any indication on the radar that there was a tornado. So that's why nothing was relayed to us to set the sirens off. So just wanted to make sure that everybody understands the way that works. If there was straight line winds, yes, it was really strong. However, that is not when those tornadoes go off. So I just wanted to add that to on the record. Right. Any questions? Yep. All right. Thanks, Judge.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Mr.
Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thomas. And just to reiterate, he made a good point that anything we file with the state or we file it federally, there's a process, and it takes time. Just to open the debris collection there at the fairgrounds, it took about 3 hours, and luckily we were able to have somebody from TCEQ come down, drive on that same day as soon as they got the application, and they approved it. But it did take some time, and it would have taken a couple of days if it wasn't for the diligence of TCEQ. So yes, it's a process. We filed the declaration, and we're still going through it, and we will continue to collect the information and see what we qualify for as far as any kind of help, any kind of financial assistance or anything like that. There's no guarantee that there will be any financial assistance. I'm very, very sad to say that, but there's policies, there's procedures, there's thresholds, there's everything that needs to be done with every agency that provides those services. So please be patient and please be understanding with us also. I reiterate what I mentioned earlier. Commissioners Court and Jim Wells County is doing 100% of what we can do, and you can depend on us 100% that will be done. Sheriff, would you like to address the court at this time?
Joseph Guy Baker, Sheriff of Jim Wells County. I just want to first reiterate what the Commissioner had said, that given the high winds and everything, we're very fortunate there wasn't any major loss of life and things like that. As far as the first responder part of it, your Sheriff's Department, everybody was called out. We were out there when the wind started, and it was pretty bad. We were lucky that there was very few major accidents. There were quite a few 18-wheelers were flipped over. A lot of that was that the rain and the wind was so much that a lot of people pulled over. Even some of the deputies, as we were driving out there, their vehicles were just turned around by the wind as they were trying to go in and assist people. But I just want to thank all of the officers, the deputies, and everyone, the constables, officers that responded out there. We were going road by road. A lot of them were blocked by down poles. They got out and they were walking house to house just to make sure that any emergency medical services were provided. So we're very, very proud of them for that and all their hard work. Everybody came together, and from the commissioners, the judge, and TDM, and the city and county working together, it was really good to see. And I think it's what made it a successful recovery. Just want to thank everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Constable?
Gerald Eddie Mendez, Constable Precinct 5, Orange Grove area. First of all, I'd like to thank this honorable court. Thank you for all your support, your kind assistance, your professionalism, and all that you did. Judge, thank you for sending out that text message in the middle of it, right when it started, to all of the constables. I appreciate you for including us and making us aware of what was going on. Kudos to Sheriff Baker and all of his staff. I got a call right away at night from Lieutenant Bowen. He's the head of CID, assuring me, sir, we're here to help. We're ready to go, and if you need anything, call. The shift supervisor calls me right after him, says, sir, we're here. And right then, I heard 2 officers were dispatched up north. Constables provide a very personalized level of law enforcement services. Whether you know it or not, I'd like to say that for the record. I've got my truck bed right now full of brush that I collected over the weekend. Our residents call directly. They have my cell number. They have constable cell numbers, and they call directly. I thank my commissioner, Renee, I have the combination to her. That's where I go drop the brush off and trash that I collect. I had a person call me and say, sir, my horse is dead in my field. What do I do? I got a good friend of mine with a backhoe. She was at an important meeting in Corpus. By the time she got back, we had her horse buried. Everything was smoothed over. That's a level of service that constables provide to our citizens. When the calls are coming in directly, I don't say, hey, we'll call the sheriff's office. They've got officers, because I was elected to serve and protect, right along with Sheriff Baker and all of his deputies. So if they call something in and I can do something, by God, I get on it. And not only that, they're tied up with accidents like that Major 1050, a major accident with those 18-wheelers. You're talking about traffic control. And why people don't stay home when all this inclement weather, I have no idea. But
I'm okay. Pause just a second. We have to put a recess on this meeting. I have to open up our 9 o'clock meeting and recess that one and then come back, because we want to follow our procedures.
I want to thank our emergency management department also
So
for the excellent work they did.
right now, Jim County Commissioners Court is going into recess at 9 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and stand and open up our next meeting. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Jim Wells County Commissioners Court for today, May 12th, 2025, 9 a.m. Now in session. We are going to call a recess at 9:01. We will come back as soon as we terminate the previous meeting. So Commissioners Court for May 9th, 2025 is now back from recess at 9:02. Constable, continue.
Thank you, Judge. I wanted to commend our emergency management coordinator, Mr. Lance Brown, and Mr. Patrick Thomas for the collaboration that they had within the city. Of course, the city is a county seat, the most populated area in the county. But I was very, very happy to see the collaboration, the work they did together, along with all of you, commissioners from this honorable court. Our people are resilient. I say our people, our residents, are resilient people. And I know that we have family and friends, and when they're in need, everyone steps up. And it's a good thing that we have this at the fairgrounds, but we didn't have much participate, not because they don't appreciate, but I think because families stick together and friends stick together, and when someone's in need, everybody rallies around them. And that's why there was no need for that. But I thank you very much for all of your efforts, and that's it for now. Thank you. I would like to address for the item on the ordinance. Yes.
No problem. Thank you. Is there anybody else? Mr. Cheto Perez, he's our CLO. He did a heck of a job putting all the Tatum team together, and all the teams that went out there and did the ISTAT assessments. Did you want to address the court at all? Just state your name for the court, please.
Liceto Cheto Perez. I'm with Cheatham, the Texas Division of Emergency Management. I just want to say we're here for the county, the city, and the surrounding areas. And anything they need, we're here to assist.
Appreciate you, Cheto.
Thank you, Cheto. Appreciate it. And after all being said, I do want to remind people that we had straight line winds anywhere from 80 to 115 miles an hour. 90 sustained and gust up to 115. This is equal to a Category 3 hurricane. This is what we're looking at as we move forward into hurricane season. God bless, God willing, that never happens. But this is what it is. Straight line winds at 115 miles an hour. We want to wish good to everybody, and know that if there's any unmet needs right now, or any questions, that they could contact my office or Lance Brown, Patrick Thomas, or any one of us, and we'd be ready and willing to help or assist in any way possible. Is there anybody else that would like to address the court at this time before we adjourn this meeting? One more thing, looking forward, we will have that information center there at the bank building at 601 East Main, for anybody that needs it. Number two, we'll continue to collect brush at the fairgrounds. Number three, we'll still have our cooling center open at the fairgrounds. Other than that, can I entertain a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Once I approve that, one more thing before I approve that. We will be filing an extension in 7 days, which I think is on the 15th. We'll reconvene the Commissioners Court to file an extension to our disaster declaration. Okay, I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. We're gonna turn right over. To our May 12th 2023 meeting. We called recess at 9:01. We're coming back out of recess. At 9:06. Agenda item number 3, public testimony. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address the court at this time? If not, we'll move forward to agenda item number 4, discuss, consider, and take action to approve minutes from previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 5, consent agenda. Consent agenda items will be voted upon in one vote and will not be discussed separately unless requested by the county judge, commissioner, or a citizen.
Motion to approve item number 5 is presented, Judge.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 6, discuss, consider, and take action on proclamation declaring June Elder Abuse Awareness Month. Would one of you like to read this proclamation? I'll read it, but, anybody? Ms. Isabel, would you like to read that or no? I think she's got one. You have one? Okay. Can you come to the podium? I'm sorry I'm putting you in the spot, but
Proclamation 0512-01, Elder Abuse Awareness Month Proclamation. Whereas older adults and people with disabilities of diverse backgrounds contribute to the well-being of this city by working, caregiving, volunteering, and actively preserving customs, rituals, and traditions. And whereas as we age, we build momentum by accumulating knowledge, experience, insight, and wisdom that can be shared to enrich our community. And whereas abuse of older adults and people with disabilities is a community concern affecting thousands of people across Texas. And whereas there were 123,852 reports and abuse older adults and people with disabilities in Texas in 2024. And whereas abuse against older adults and people with disabilities is grossly underreported because of social stigma, embarrassment, and fear. And whereas adult abuse affects men and women of all income and ability levels, all cultural and ethnic backgrounds, and all communities. And whereas elder abuse is everyone's business, it's important to strengthen our efforts to prevent, report, and address elder abuse. Now, therefore, Pedro P. Trevino Jr., your county judge, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim the month of June 2025 to be Elder Abuse Awareness Month in Jim Wells County, Texas, and urge all residents to work together to reduce abuse, neglect of older adults and people with disabilities.
thank you so much. That was my executive assistant, Isabel Trevino. She always rises up to occasion. Thank you so much, Isabel. Can I entertain a
Motion to
motion?
approve.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 7. Discuss, consider, and take action to adopt an order prohibiting the discharge of firearms and air guns and prohibiting hunting with bows and arrows on lots that are 10 acres or less in subdivisions in the unincorporated area of Jim Wells County and establishing a penalty. Constable?
Judge, honorable members of the court, I rise in strong support of this ordinance. This is an identified need. For years now, the Texas legislature, through the Texas Government Code, has provided for this matter to be addressed. But in true Texas fashion, they have allowed every county respectively to pass their own county ordinance according to their wishes. We've had an identified need for a bit now, and we in law enforcement, and Sheriff Baker can attest to this, we respond to several times, more times than you care to think of, to calls about people discharging firearms on property right next to them, and they're afraid for their, and we get all kinds of horrendous stories that they can hear the bullets whiz by, and that their kids are out playing, that they have animals, livestock, and the property next door is firing weapons. In Texas, and I tell you right now, I love my weapons. I have like 12 handguns, and I don't know how many shotguns and rifles. And I believe in being able to fire our weapons. I strongly support the Second Amendment, as many of our fellow Texans do. But we have to be able to be safe when we do that, and responsible, and very conscientious. This ordinance would do that and would provide law enforcement, when we respond to these calls for service, the ability to properly and lawfully address that matter as they arise. I want to commend our county attorney, Michael Guerra. I reached out to him, and I honestly believe it might have been even after hours. And we conversed, and I kid you not, I think it was something like 9 o'clock at night, and he was doing work on this. So, Michael, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you for your diligent work, your hard work and your diligent effort. Thank you so much. So, that being said, I would ask that you strongly consider this and pass this ordinance to help keep all of our residents and communities safe. It is limited to 10 acres or less. And I believe there's some stipulations within that ordinance, the confines of that ordinance, that I think you'll have a copy of. And like I said, it's a win-win for everyone, especially for law enforcement as we go and respond to these calls for service. Is there any questions or anything? I'd be glad to answer.
I have a question, sir.
Monday.
So if you have an intruder in your house and you live in a subdivision and you discharge on a rifle?
That's addressed. That's addressed, Commissioner, except if it's defense, for self-defense, defense of your property, that is addressed there within the confines of that. Yeah, it specifically stipulates that.
You have, okay,
It's just some platted subdivisions, right? Not outside?
Platted subdivisions, there's an exception for law enforcement, there's an exception for predators.
Right.
There's an exception for self-defense or defense of others.
But if you live outside the subdivision,
okay,
it's
Well,
not
if it's not
incorporated?
there's certain areas out in the country that are not subdivisions.
Yeah. So they don't apply here, right?
Right, it would not
Okay.
apply there.
so, one question that I have, it says, unincorporated areas of the county, so all around the county, right?
Yes, it would be the entire.
Well, you're looking to the exception like the cities like Orange Grove and Fremont. Those have their own city ordinances that would address that.
Apply any incorporated area is exempt from this.
Okay, so this is all just, Jim Wells County, unincorporated areas.
When they say air guns, are they talking about like BB guns, or are they talking about the high powered air guns?
It's defined in there.
All right, we could,
Thing is, now they're making these air guns, airsoft guns and things that are very high powered with, I'm talking about with scopes and very intricate, And so that's why those have been included. Again, this is from the state legislature. But it allows every every county to pass an ordinance like this respective to their own county. So, and that's all we're trying to do is to That was a very good question, Commissioner. Thank you, sir, for asking.
Okay.
The rationale, the purpose and rationale for it.
It's not very long.
So,
Okay, so this is how, to Lance's question, an air gun is defined as any device using air, gas, or springs.
Paintball?
So BB, yeah, BB guns, pellet guns, paintball are covered. Now you can, this is the model ordinance from the state uses. You can add or strike.
we can strike or
whatever-
add.
Whatever you like. And then, of course, firearm, that's really what the constable is having an issue with in particular situations.
And again, our residents don't, I mean, when they do complain, I mean, they'll call me, for example, that one day I had 3 complaints, 3 different places I had to go because they were firing. I had a 15-year-old boy and in the corner of the property there and just going away, boom, 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 boom. And the people across the fence over there, they're the complainants.
Right.
Saying, man, you know, and the mom says, well, he's practicing, he's gonna do competition. That's all well and good, that's excellent. But there's safe ranges you can go to.
So should we include a BB and pellet guns? I don't know.
I think not BBs and pellet guns and paintball guns, I mean, we can amend that, but the constable is correct, there are some high-powered, air guns that are like with the CO2.
No, I've seen them, I own one,
Cal,
yeah.
those are some pretty high-powered rifles, but I mean, I wouldn't say, you know, a little Red Ryder BB gun, you know, you're out there in the backyard.
Do you guys have a sheriff and constable, do you guys have a problem with BB and pellet guns?
I think a BB gun is okay, yeah. Now, is there also a residential requirement there too? So many feet from a residence or?
No, that's just, I think that's a separate, that's not included.
Okay.
So if you get a underage kid, who do we charge, the adult or?
I think this is a good point. We should examine, strike the language about BB guns, pellet guns. Or leave what do they call them, airsoft?
Airsoft guns.
Airsoft should probably stay in, those are a little more dangerous.
High powered, yes.
We can.
Yeah, but then you're gonna say qualify that. I think airsoft, if airsoft stays in there, take out BB guns, pellet guns, I think you're still okay.
Yeah, you're not going after young kids.
Right.
And then my other question is with the archery, I think maybe, I mean, I understand there are some high-powered, you know, bow and arrows as well, but once again, it kind of falls back into the jurisdiction of, you know, a 10-year-old out there with just a bow and arrow shooting into a target.
Well, that's why anything having to do with the bow and arrow is included in the state model.
Y'all want to strike that or leave that in?
I'd strike it. I would put something like I know we have some people that copy there and every meeting? Are we ever gonna improve the system? On every meeting.
Sorry about that. I think it's there.
Okay, we could have, Robert, can you go up one more frame? And this will have the exceptions. Oh, no, sorry, I think he went, go backwards.
Can we just request a backboard or something for the bow and arrow? Just,
Go forward one more.
but I don't wanna,
Here are the exceptions.
And it does say something about hunting with bow and arrow. So that could be left in there. And then if you say, put a,
yeah, just to
For
include
range.
some kind of
Yeah,
protection.
well, with a bow, you got to have the block. Block or bale of hay or something, yes.
Those are all the exceptions.
Okay, so I don't see bow and arrows on here.
Says hunting bow and arrow.
You can shoot it recreational.
The ordinance as you have it right now is addressing hunting with a bow and arrow.
Okay, okay.
You can practice, but you can't hunt, right?
Yeah, it specifically states hunting with a bow and arrow.
Specifically hunting, not target practice with the.
Doesn't make reference to that, just hunting.
Okay. Okay.
Anybody have more questions on the exception?
No.
Oh, yeah, so that would cover, like, for example, the naval, landing strip out there in Montreux.
Right.
We can't assert any jurisdiction over that.
Okay.
Yeah, it even allows for that.
That's it? Okay, well, I thought there was one that said the offense, it's a Class C misdemeanor,
Or first offense,
first offense.
Okay.
which is good because that gives us, again, gives law enforcement some teeth. You know, we have a first offense, then we have repeat offenses. Then it gets enhanced.
Yeah, repeat offense, there it is now. Repeat offenses is,
Okay. Okay, any other questions, or? I feel this will keep our residents safe, especially out in the country.
So you have 10 acres, you can.
Thank you so much for your audience, and thank you for your consideration. I sincerely appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys.
That would only include platted subdivisions?
Well,
Yeah, should it be
yeah,
better than
a subdivision
10
of,
acres?
a subdivision of land that are 10 acres or less. Because, you know, you got Silver Spur editions, whatever.
Can we lower
They sell those in 5-acre tracts. So if you got, most people have a 5-acre tract, they could not be doing that.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And if they got 2, they have 10 acres, well then,
I
they
wonder
still
the
would not.
subdivision.
The reason I say this is because I know they subdivide the land, but it's not a platted subdivision to where they have access, road access. It's just like 10-acre tracts, but they're not platted.
Sir, and again, the only time that law enforcement responds is when there's a complaint from a neighbor that's in close proximity. So if you have someone out there that's living on their own, then really we're not gonna have a complaint. We're not out there
I
hunting,
think all the-
looking for them.
I think all the areas are plotted or marked. You know if you have 10 acres or not, you know.
That's right.
Well, I think we have too many people that have 10 acres, and I think it'd be fair to them that they're gonna fall into this deal. So I like to lower it to less than 10 acres, 9 acres.
So,
Those 10
so what
acres be able to
so what you're
qualify.
proposing is to say anyone less than 10 acres,
Yes,
not 10 acres or less, but just less than 10 acres.
because people have 10 acres, so I wanna let those people out, because I have people that have firing ranges, stuff
I
like that.
still, I think that's a fine
as
limit,
long as
and
I'm not gonna
I
cut
would
them
be
off.
okay with that.
Sheriff?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
well, that's what that was the problem with it. I think that one of these folks that made a homemade berm, right?
She said, I paid money for this berm. It was a little 4-foot, maybe 3.5, 4-foot berm. And they thought that was sufficient, but it's not, because, I mean, and they were putting the targets down here with a little 4-foot berm, but that's not sufficient. You know, the bullets, well, the neighbor calls, she says,
We have a lot of people that hunt dove in 10 acres, so here we are gonna put a stop to that?
sir, what's your thoughts, Mr. Guerrero? 10 acres?
That would be covered in that.
Sheriff, you
They're
okay
just
with that,
charging
Sheriff?
they're just charging a,
Left it at 10 acres?
Well, I think if we start to limit what the legislature said is 10 acres or less after doing their studies, then I think that kind of diminishes the purpose of passing this ordinance. I think it should stay at 10 acres or less, like the legislature said, in my opinion. I can tell you from personal experience, it was been many years ago, but I was standing on my porch. My children were out there playing, and I had bullets whizzed by my ear. I thought it was bees, but it was 22 bullets. They were going inches from my head. So, and that's just an example. And we have these calls all the time. I've seen people that have these berms. They end up putting them at the back of their properties next to the fence line. And like the constable said, the berms are not but this tall. I'm all in favor of, our right to defend ourselves. This is not touching that. It's not touching your right to have a firearm. It's not diminishing any of those rights. As far as dove hunting, I think that can be an exception because they're pellets, you're shooting up. I think we can make those exceptions. I would rather not make the exception of the land. I'd rather make the exception to what's allowable
And only during dove season.
during dove season, things like that. If we're going to make exceptions, I would rather that. I think that'd be a better way to do it.
Will be also accepted?
I think we can make that exception because as you understand, bird shot is little BBs that are going to spread out. They're not going to get off, it shouldn't, they're not really going to be the danger. What we're facing out there, the calls we're getting is handguns, people out there shooting handguns, shooting rifles. And some of those rifles, the 22 may travel a long distance unless it hits a tree or something or a berm. But I think the hunting for shotguns, I think that's an allowable exception that I'd be happy with. Mostly, I think we're trying to focus on these high-powered rifles and handguns.
Personal ranches and acres, or just skeet shooting targets, just practicing, does that affect that?
Again, if you make the exception for the shotguns, it would be allowable for that. I would make an exception for shotguns. I don't think that's the problem. The problem is the handguns and the rifles where people are out target practicing or, I don't see a shotgun as being a major concern.
Targeted.
Yes, sir.
So, any other questions? Do I have to go over, before we go further, I want to make sure we're all.
Commissioner?
I can rewrite
Go with
it
that?
and we can send it at the next meeting and have time to look at it, or unless y'all want to go forward today.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to rewrite. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the exception would be the BB guns, the
I've got BB guns and pellet guns, but we're leaving in the airsoft. And I think pellet guns are what? 77 caliber? Yeah. Those are gonna be deleted.
Paintball?
What are we doing? for
paintballs are, I mean, they're not dangerous. They may sting a little bit, but they're on 10 acres. I don't have an issue with paintball.
Okay, just like paintball as well. And then the exceptions will be hunting dove, quail, or shooting skeet with a shotgun. That would also be accepted.
That's my opinion, yes.
Yes.
Michael, anything that we allow will make us liable if something does happen or not.
I don't think so.
No, I'm just curious.
Still gonna be on the actor. I mean, people, just because we say you can do it, doesn't mean you can do it recklessly. I mean, that's still gonna
I
be.
just want to make that clear, that I don't want to put the county at risk.
Yes.
Like you can say shotguns and then you have a disaster and then, so I just don't want any liability.
Well, are people gonna still call? They are. And then we in law enforcement will still respond. But then we can apply the ordinance appropriately, and then, of course, we can provide them with notice. In fact, it was a gender reveal, skeet shoot. And they were doing it, and the back fence, the lady's got a bunch of goats. So I had to respond to that here recently. And then right away said, no, we'll stop, well, we have a complaint, and she's saying that she's afraid for her animals to get shot, and they were very, very readily agreeable to that. So what I say, we
I
address
think,
it, but
I think we need to table it and Michael come up with any, the additions or whatever.
Okay, I can
I
get
make
that.
a motion to table.
Second.
thank y'all so much
And
for
I
your
appreciate you
consideration.
guys.
Appreciate you.
I have a motion, I have a second to table the item, to allow for corrections on the ordinance. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 8, discuss, consider, and take action on an interlocal agreement between Jim Wells County Sheriff's Office and Brooks County Sheriff's Office and Live Oak County Sheriff's Office. We have too many,
Joseph Guy Baker, Sheriff of Jim Wells County. These interlocal agreements, we're just continuing these agreements. They are in existence, and so we're just continuing them as they are. There's no major change. These agreements are for interdiction purposes, mostly on our major highways to interdict drugs, weapons, money that's going to the cartel, those type of operations and investigations that we do together.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion, have a second. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 9, discuss, consider, and take action on an interlocal agreement between Jim Wells County Sheriff's Office and Clayburgh County Sheriff's Office. Same?
Yes, Judge, it's the same.
Can I entertain a
Motion
motion?
to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 10, discuss, consider, and take action to accept bid from, for new telephone communication system and maintenance of all county telephone communication systems and broadband internet service. I think we spoke about this one. I think we should table it right now to answer a couple of more questions as far as infrastructure is concerned. We need to make sure that it is included, because I think that's gonna be the major question and the major concern on that, on those systems. We get new phones, we may need new infrastructure, and that's where the cost is gonna be. So at this time, I'll make a motion, we table.
Second.
I have a motion, and a second. Any further discussion needed? Well, should we ask questions right now, or well, the committee, they reviewed, did you all have a recommendation?
Problem was that we didn't know how deep of infrastructure was going to be because it wasn't.
And if we let you speak right now, it may cause problems with the process, and we don't want to have you speak and then have to preclude you from the deal. So we apologize for that. So did I have a motion? I think I had a motion and a second, right, already? Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Item is tabled. Agenda item number 11, discuss, consider, and take action for Commissioner Precinct 1, George Aguilar, to enter into a lease purchase agreement with Candace Finance for a 2026 Mac P164 number IM2PN4GL6TM 017885 dump truck, 13-month contract.
Yes, sir, Judge, Commissioners Court. We currently have one under a lease, a contract through Camden's Finance. Every year they bring us a new truck and we redo the contract for another 12, 13 months. So that's all it is, just a renewal of the contract. Terms and everything should be the same.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 12, discuss, consider, take action to approve agreement with Ward Sheffield and John Perkup for donation of materials, equipment, and labor to to precinct 4 for repair of County Road 433.
Judge, we did this here about 6 years ago. Met with Mr. John Prukop. He's the owner of the Prukop Farms here in 281. And they farmed the 433, which runs about 6-8 miles. And a new guy bought the land where we used to have, there used to be a caliche pit. But he opened up the new guy that bought it opened up another one. So he's willing to give us all the caliche we need to kind of raise that road up a little bit so he can get his trucks in and out of the farm fields. So they're willing to give us up to 100 loads of caliche. They're gonna pay, he's gonna pay the hauling, and we're just gonna do the work ourselves. And we're just gonna be able to go in and out to load the caliche and be able to spread it. So we used a couple of guys to work the road.
That's correct, judges. We did this back in 2019 before we approved it. And because it's a donation for a specific purpose to a county, it does require commissioners to approve before we can accept and approve.
I make a motion, we approve agenda item number 12.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you to Mr. Sheffield and Mr. Perkup. We appreciate the donation. Thank you all very much.
We'll start here in a couple of weeks. There's the answer. I guess they didn't send it.
Agenda item number 13. Discuss, consider, and take action to permit the sale of fireworks in Jim Walls County for Memorial Day holiday.
This is one of those discretionary holidays where it's not automatic unless the commissioners court approved it by May 15th. In the past, we've had some people call, some of the vendors will call us a week before the holiday and ask if they can sell, and the deadline has already passed. So with that in mind, ahead of time, and this is our last opportunity to permit it if you want. I know we came out of the burn ban, but we have gotten, of course, it's up to you all.
Lance Brown, Jim Wells County Emergency Management. You know, I do get a lot of calls on this stuff. I just looked right now on our KBDIs. We're 2 days behind, so it's not 100% accurate today. It's just only reading what's on the 10th, so they'll probably update it probably tomorrow. But as of right now, Jim Wells County sets at 325 for our KBDIs. That's well below the threshold of 500. I don't foresee us going to 500 in the next 3 weeks, 2 weeks. So I think that we're going to be fine. And later on, if we do get into a burn ban, one of the stipulations that a lot of people do have is you can have aerial works, just nothing with sticks or wings, is what Bexar County has in their stipulations moving forward, just to, for the record. I think we're going to be fine.
That being said, can I entertain a motion?
So whenever we do these, Mike, I know I got a concern from gentleman there in Bimbo, that the neighbor has a lot that's roadwise, stuff like that, and he's complaining about aerial fireworks, and there's nothing we can do about it, right, pretty much, other than we either
There are two holidays that are automatic without any kind of court approval, the 4th of July and New Year's. All the others, I think there's 5 or 6 others, Texas Independence Day, Memorial Day, Cinco de Mayo, I think, there might be Texas, San Jacinto Day. Those are all discretionary, and those all require the court to approve them ahead of time.
so can we
But as
limit,
far as-
can we cut them off? Can we stop aerial fireworks or no?
You know, that gets into, it's a tricky thing because we can tell that, but people see others doing fireworks, I don't know what is the difference? I don't know what it is.
So the ones with I'm not an expert at firecrackers. The fireworks stands is not regulated through us, you know, so we don't have, you know, there's no way that Patrick and I can go to every single individual person that sells firecrackers. they called me and Patrick, we probably took 40 calls or better. Oh, they're selling within the city limits. Well, the state of Texas, you know, they're the ones that, they pay the state of Texas to get their permits and stuff, to where they sell, and that stuff changes all the time, where you just have to be like 6 inches from the city limits in order to sell. But one thing that I talked to the EMC from Bear County in San Antonio and asked them how they do it. And they said, you know, we don't want to do that because that's a huge profit for the state of Texas, right? Selling firecrackers. But one thing that he did say was anything with sticks, and that's like bottle rockets, primarily bottle rockets, because they just go up hot, hot, and then they come down hot. And those cause some problems. And then anything with wings, which is, typically the lower end stuff that goes up a couple feet and then they could go into your neighbor's property. So those are the only two things that stuck out into my mind was sticks and wings under a burn ban for them is what they recommended not to allow.
Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second to approve agenda item number 13 as stated. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 14, discuss, consider, and take action on payroll and bills as submitted by the county auditor with the exception of Fund 52, 53, and 54.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to adjourn,
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
unless somebody else has something to add to this.
Judge, real quick, we're gonna have a food distribution, water and cleaning supplies for people here in Ben Bolt and the Dallas area. Hopefully this afternoon, I'll let you know.
This afternoon?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll get with you as soon as they give me the final details.
Anybody else? I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all very much. Appreciate you guys.